So I know that a lot of you guys are waiting on me to post the video where I show off the ability to boot into Windows 11 on your Microsoft Surface Duo untethered, which is to say not plugged into a computer where you have to send a command over to the device to do the actual booting. There's a new way to do this now where you can actually boot directly into Windows 11 or Android only using the device. Now, unfortunately, this video is not going to be that because that process is a bit more complicated, and I just have not had the time to learn the process to create the files I need to create to actually do that. However, there has been a new driver update, which does add some really nice stuff, some really nice bug fixes, and this video is going to be about that. We're going to talk about some of those new improvements from this latest driver update. So let's jump to the overhead camera and get started on that now. So you can see here that we are booting into Android at current. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the command from my computer to send this thing over to Windows 11. And I'm not going to make any cuts. I'm not going to edit anything about this. I may kind of change the sound or something to make it more entertaining. We're clicking on the command now. But I want you just to be able to see how long this process takes now. You've seen it in other videos, and you can kind of compare how much faster this is. Like I said, it is faster than it was before as we go into our bootloader here, and then we should move past this relatively quickly as it is now sending the boot.img via my command. Now, you're also going to notice a lack of the graphical glitches that you've seen so many times in these videos. As it does prepare to boot into Windows, it would have these screens pop up with all this kind of staticky looking stuff going on that you should not see anymore. In addition to, like I said, being faster than it was. We've already got the little spinning circle down there letting us know that Windows is on the way. And I should be able to, at this point, pick the thing up, and there is our lock screen, if you want to call it that. Let's swipe up, and I'm going to quickly enter my PIN, and we are now signed in. So obviously that is a much faster process than we had before. I'm still having issues where one panel is darker or brighter than the other. I guess it depends on if your cup is half empty or half full. But at any rate, there we go. We are now on our home screen. I will say this. It does seem to be much more stable and seemingly performant than it was before. This thing actually was able to just sit here closed and not crash for a really long time, like many hours. Before, it would crash and you'd have to boot back into Windows 11 manually. You know, honestly, for me, within an hour or so. Yesterday, I left the thing closed for I think like 6 hours, and I was able to come back all that time and then jump right back into Windows. So definitely some big improvements in terms of stability being shown here. Another new improvement, though, is the fact that when you rotate the thing, both screens will now auto rotate. It's not necessarily the most graphically pretty auto rotation that you've ever seen, but it does work now on both screens. And this, guys, this is really cool because these screens, when they're in this orientation, just make better sense for Windows than holding it in book mode, right? Apps are on, Windows apps are made for screens more this size than flipped around the other way. So this is going to be a really nice improvement to be able to switch back and forth between these different orientations, being able to truly do some pretty solid, I keep auto rotating back the other way, some really nice multitasking possibilities on two screens like this. Now much better off than it was before. And of course, you can rotate back around and it's going to kind of rescale things, and that works honestly really well. Now, I did mention earlier that I felt like it was running a bit more performantly, a bit faster than it was before. And obviously I don't have benchmarks or anything to really show you that it's running faster. But what I can do is I can launch a few things here and just kind of let you see that, yeah, it seems to be kind of chewing through this stuff pretty easily. And again, it just feels like it's a bit faster than it was before. So you combine that with this added stability that I'm seeing, and this thing is becoming something that you could actually do some fun stuff with. I do still think that there are some issues, right? So if I want to move this file explorer to the other screen, you do kind of have to be a bit more delicate about how you do it. But there's some ways potential that we can find to work around some of this stuff. in the future as we do continue to work on what isn't working with this device. You can see that obviously a lot more things are working than not all of this stuff is working. We did have charging working for a little while, but currently that has been pulled back down. So you have to, boot into Android to charge, which is a little bit of a problem. The speakers are not working directly on the device, which is a little bit of a problem. And you can kind of see the rest here. But those are kind of the last things left that are really problematic. And at that point, it's going to be user interface and just usability tweaks that are going to have to come from me to want to use the thing with any regularity, past just being a really cool, like neat, fun thing that you can do, or in conjunction with a Lapdock or something like that, which is actually a very cool way to do this. Link to that video in the description. So guys, there you go. There's the latest update on the Windows 11 on Surface Duo project. As always, this is in a playlist. If you want to know how to install this, that video is in the playlist as well on this channel. Thanks for watching. Big, giant, massive, gargantuan shout out to Gus for the work that they have done on this project and for helping me get things running at different times as well. They've always been very responsive and kind to me, so very cool. And like I said, thanks to them for that. Subscribe so that you don't miss out on more content just like this. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.